Typee by Herman Melville. Characters, Summary, Analysis. Hello and welcome to the discourse. Herman Melville's Typee, A Peep at Polynesian Life, published in 1846, is a semi-autobiographical adventure novel based on the author's real experiences in the Marquesas Islands after deserting a whaling ship in 1842. As Melville's first book, it blends travel writing, memoir, and fiction, offering a vivid yet controversial portrayal of Polynesian culture. The novel was initially published in London as narrative of a 4 months residence among the natives of a valley of the Marquesas Islands before being released in the US as Typee. Its success established Melville's early reputation, though its critiques of colonialism and missionaries sparked debate, leading to revisions in later editions. Set against the backdrop of 19th century Western exploration, Typee reflects the era's fascination with the South Pacific while challenging romanticized notions of savage life. The whaling industry, European colonialism, and missionary efforts all play a role in the narrative, which critiques the destructive influence of outsiders on indigenous cultures. Melville's perspective is shaped by Romanticism's idealization of nature and the noble savage. Yet he also subverts these tropes by presenting a more complex view of Polynesian society. The novel is narrated by Tommo, a fictionalized version of Melville himself, who recounts his time living among the Typee people after fleeing his ship. His first-person perspective immerses readers in the lush landscapes and customs of the island while revealing his conflicting emotions, fascination with the Typee way of life, but also fear of being trapped in an unfamiliar world. The narrative style is richly descriptive, blending adventure with ethnographic observation, though scholars debate how much of the story is factual versus embellished. Key themes in Typee include the clash between civilization and so-called savagery, the illusion of freedom, and the consequences of cultural imperialism. Melville critiques European and American missionaries for disrupting indigenous traditions, portraying the Typee as both noble and enigmatic. The novel also explores captivity and paranoia, as Tommo grows increasingly uncertain about whether the islanders are hospitable or holding him prisoner. Melville employs various literary devices to enhance the story, including symbolism, the valley as both paradise and prison, irony, Western civilization as more destructive than indigenous life, and suspense, hints of cannibalism, keep Tommo and the reader on edge. The vivid imagery immerses the audience in the tropical setting, while the ambiguous portrayal of the Typee people challenges colonial stereotypes. Though Typee was Melville's most popular work during his lifetime, it later became overshadowed by Moby Dick. Today, it is recognized as an important early work of American literature and a critical commentary on colonialism, cross-cultural encounters, and the complexities of human nature. Its blend of adventure, cultural critique, and lyrical prose continues to captivate readers and scholars alike. Characters of Typee. Tommo is the protagonist and narrator who serves as Melville's fictional counterpart. He is a young American sailor disillusioned with the harsh conditions aboard the whaling ship Dolly. Tommo deserts with his companion Toby, seeking freedom in the island's interior. His character embodies the complex Western perspective, simultaneously enchanted by the Typee people's way of life, yet plagued by deep-seated fears and prejudices. Throughout his stay in the valley, Tommo vacillates between admiration for the islanders' culture and growing paranoia about their supposed cannibalism, revealing the psychological toll of cultural dislocation. His internal conflict mirrors Melville's broader critique of Western civilization's assumptions about savage societies. Tommo's companion Toby provides crucial support in their initial escape, but disappears mysteriously early in their adventure. His abrupt departure leaves Tommo completely isolated among the Typee, heightening the narrative's tension. Toby's character, though appearing briefly, serves as an important contrast to Tommo, more pragmatic and action-oriented. His disappearance represents the fragility of Western companionship in this unfamiliar environment. The Typee people themselves form the most compelling characters in the novel, Chief Mehevi commands respect as the tribe's dignified leader, his authority challenging European stereotypes of primitive chieftains. His treatment of Tommo, simultaneously hospitable and watchful, creates an ambiguous power dynamic that drives much of the story's suspense. Among the most memorable Typee characters is Kori Kori, Tommo's devoted attendant. With his elaborate tattoos and lively personality, Kori Kori becomes Tommo's constant companion, responsible for his care and feeding. Their relationship epitomizes the novel's central tension. Is Kori Kori a kind caretaker or a watchful jailer? This ambiguity reflects Melville's nuanced portrayal of cross-cultural encounters. Similarly, significant is Fayaway, the young Typee woman who forms a close bond with Tommo. Described with romantic idealization, Fayaway embodies the noble savage trope while also serving as Tommo's most sympathetic connection to Typee culture. Their relationship, though tinged with exoticism, offers some of the narrative's most poignant moments of genuine human connection. Secondary characters like Marheo, the protective elder, and Marnu, the multilingual traveler, further enrich the cultural tapestry of the story. Marheo represents the tribe's generational wisdom and kindness, while Marno serves as a rare link between Tommo and the outside world. The sailors of the Dolly, though appearing briefly, establish the oppressive conditions that motivate Tommo's desertion. Their brutish behavior standing in stark contrast to the Typee's communal lifestyle. Summary of Typee. The novel opens with Tommo and his fellow sailor Toby enduring harsh treatment aboard the whaler Dolly in the South Pacific. Disgusted by the ship's oppressive conditions, they plot their escape when the vessel anchors near the island of Nukuhiva. Despite warnings about the fierce reputation of the island's native tribes, particularly the feared Typee, the two men flee into the island's rugged interior, desperate for freedom. After days of treacherous travel through dense forests and steep mountains, suffering from exhaustion and hunger, Tommo and Toby descend into a lush valley. They soon realize they have stumbled into the territory of the Typee, a tribe rumored to be cannibals. Though initially fearful, they are greeted with surprising hospitality, fed, sheltered, and treated as honored guests. Toby, however, grows suspicious and convinces the Typee to let him leave to seek medical help for Tommo's injured leg, promising to return. He disappears, leaving Tommo alone among the islanders. As weeks pass, Tommo settles into the rhythms of Typee life. He is cared for by his devoted attendant Kori Kori and forms a close bond with Fayaway, a young woman who embodies the beauty and freedom of the island. He observes their customs, feasting, tattooing, and elaborate rituals with a mix of fascination and unease. Chief Mehevi treats him well, but Tommo remains uncertain whether he is a guest or a prisoner. Rumors of cannibalism haunt him, though he never witnesses it directly. Despite the Typee's kindness, Tommo becomes paranoid. His leg heals, but his freedom remains ambiguous. He is free to roam the valley, but never allowed to leave. When Marnu, the Polynesian traveler who speaks English, visits the valley, Tommo pleads for help, but Marnu warns that the Typee will not let him go. Tommo's fear intensifies when he sees preserved human heads, reinforcing rumors of cannibalism. Just as Tommo resigns himself to permanent captivity, an Australian whaling ship arrives offshore. The Typee, reluctant to let him go, grow hostile. In a tense climax, Tommo fights his way to the beach, where sailors from the ship rescue him under threat of violence. As he rows away, he sees the Typee on shore, some waving farewell while others angrily hurl spears. Tommo is free, but he leaves behind a culture he both admired and feared. Years later, he reunites with Toby and learns his friend had been tricked onto a departing ship, unable to fulfill his promise of return. The novel closes with Tom's bittersweet reflections on his captivity, his fear of the Typee balanced by genuine affection for Kori Kori and Fayaway, and his Western assumptions forever altered by his immersion in their world. Melville blends adventure, ethnography, and psychological tension, leaving key questions unresolved. Were the Typee truly cannibals? Were they protecting Tommo or imprisoning him? This ambiguity makes Typee a provocative early work of American literature, straddling the line between memoir and fiction. So this is it for today. we will continue to discuss the history of American English literature. Please stay connected with the discourse. Thanks and regards.